Good morning, good morning. Hi everyone, I'm going to read a story today that's based on our theme, which our theme this week is called People Working Together. And I'm going to read a story called The Shoemaker and the Elves. Now, this is a folk tale, and a folk tale is a story that's been told for lots of years, okay? So, for many, many years, this story has been told. And sometimes a good indicator of a folk tale is it will start with once upon a time. So I'm going to read the story to you now, and I want you to think about how these people are working together. It's going to have a shoemaker in there, and a shoemaker is a person whose job is making shoes out of leather, like what you would wear. And then there's going to be an imaginary character in there called an elf, and maybe more than one elf. And these are small people that have special powers, and that's what makes this story fiction, because we know that's not real. So use your imagination while I read you this story called The Shoemaker and the Elves. Once upon a time, long, long ago, in a village far, far away, there lived a shoemaker named Gus. Gus and his wife Bessie worked very hard, but they barely made enough money to feed themselves and their 7 children. One night, after the family had eaten some watery soup and the children had gone to bed still quite hungry, Gus said to his wife, "Bessie, I only have enough leather to make 1 pair of shoes. We won't make enough money to buy more leather and feed our family. What will we do?" "Oh, Gus," Bessie sighed, "let's go to bed. It's late. Tomorrow's another day." In the morning, Gus shuffled into his workshop and stopped, amazed. There on his workbench was the most elegant pair of shoes he had ever seen. Just then, a tall gentleman walked in and asked for a pair of shoes. Gus showed him the new pair. The gentleman tried them on, and they fit perfectly. He was so pleased with the shoes that he paid Gus twice what they were worth. Gus ran to buy food for his family and enough leather to make 2 new pairs of shoes. That night, Gus put the leather on his workbench and enjoyed a big meal with his wife and children. Everyone was happy. In the morning, Gus ran into his workshop, but again he stopped, amazed. There on his workbench were 2 more pairs of elegant shoes. Both pairs sold quickly, and Gus was able to buy more leather for shoes. This went on for many days. The family had plenty to eat. Gus was able to buy more and more leather, and more pairs of shoes appeared every morning on Gus's workbench. One morning, Bessie said, "Gus, we have to see who is making these shoes for us." That night, Gus and Bessie watched from behind the curtain. At midnight, they heard scraping and scratching. Many little elves walking along the workbench, cutting here, snipping there, stitching here, and stitching there. The little elves were hard workers, but Bessie noticed something. "Oh, Gus, their clothes are so shabby and shredded." The entire next day, Bessie and Gus stitched, snipped, washed, and pressed. That night, the workbench was covered in many little coats, pants, and jackets. Bessie and Gus hid behind the curtain again and saw the little elves jump with joy when they saw their new clothes. The elves never came back again to the shoemaker's shop, but Gus and Bessie did very well. All the elegant ladies and gentlemen came to their shop and bought their excellent shoes. The children were well fed, and the little elves in their new clothes went to find others who needed their help. So in this story, you can see that the shoemakers and the elves worked together, and everybody ended up happy. So this week, I want you to think about people that might work together. Like when you go to the grocery store, usually there's somebody putting stuff on the shelves. There's somebody that's checking you out. Maybe there's somebody putting your groceries in the bag. Sometimes you might even get help putting your groceries in the car. Thinking about how all those people work together. Firefighters work together to put out fires. Doctors and nurses work together to make sure you're healthy. So think about people in our community that work together to make it a better place. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.